Assalamualaikum and hi. Our group will be presenting about the system theory in political science. Our group consists of 7 members, which is Syed Ahmad Kamil, Muhammad Saiful Azrel, Muhammad Hardi Aris, Ahmad Muhaimin, me myself Muhammad Hakim, Muhammad Alif, and Muhammad Kamaruzaman. So we will start the introduction. The system theory, as developed by David Easton, is a conceptual framework used in political science to analyze and understand political system. It sees political system as complex and interconnected, made up of different parts that work together. According to Easton, politics is the authoritative allocation of values. These values include input, which is demand, and output, which is decision and action. Easton system theory emphasizes the importance of inputs, processes, and output in the functioning of political system. The political system integrates all activities through which social policy is formulated and executed. Overall, system theory helps us to analyze how political system function and adapt to societal demands. Through instant system theory, we gain insight into how political system maintain social order, make collective decisions, and respond to societal demands, providing a valuable tool for analyzing the complexities of political processes. Moving on to the next presenter.
Next is the function. The first function of the political system is to formulate policies. These policies are basically laws that define how a society will be governed. These policies are values that determine what the people want at a particular time. The second function of the political system is the policy implementation. This is a stage after policy formulation. This stage requires the use of available resources to ensure that the people are provided with the best services. This stage is completely different from policy formulation because most of the policies fail to push through at this stage. Further, the political system should be able to aggregate the interests of every citizen, interest group, political party, and any other organization that exists in the political realm of that society. The aggregation of interest is what brings better policies that represent the interests of all citizens. Meetings, debates, and important discussions are usually held to try and see how different policies that respond to the needs of aspiration of the people are enacted. The third function of the political system is political adjudication and communication. It's important for the government to communicate policies through a well-established channel of communication. The communication binds the activities of the government and general public. Meanwhile, public education deals with deciding which policies should be implemented first. It basically deals with the prioritization of available resources to achieve the best results. We can see that political system, according to David Easton, explain how decision makers should be able to know which policies must be prioritized first and which ones must come later. The last function of the political system is political socialization. Any nation's political system should be reflected its people, a framework that teach citizens these ideals. This kind of structure can include churches, hospitals, universities, and others. Political association also reinforces political parties, interest groups, and other relevant groupings. It talks about how David Easton sees the different roles of the political system and the freedoms and rights that this group must have in order to fully take part in running the society. Freedoms and human rights are most prevent citizens from participating in society. Strong restrictions are needed for a functioning political system. This will make a solid legal system. Strong laws are essential to civilization. An effective legal system is strict but adaptable to social changes. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, now I will explain it about the system analysis. So, according to Easton, a political system can be thought of as a set of interrelated and interdependent components that work together to maintain stability and equilibrium. Also, system analysis involves examining each of these components in detail in order to understand how they contribute to the overall functioning of the political system. And lastly, will be see the feedback analysis involved that in examining the reaction of society to government policies and action, and how this reaction can influence future policy decision. Okay, next slide, please. So here are the system theory in a nutshell. So we need to see the step one first. Step one, change in the social physical environment surrounding a political system, produce demands and support for action or the status quo directed as input toward the political system through political behavior. Step two, this demand and supporting groups stimulate competition in political system, leading to decision or output directed at some aspect of the surrounding social or physical environment. Step 3 are the after a decision or output is made, example specific policy, this interact with environment and is produce change in the environment, there are outcomes. So step 4 is when a new policy interact with its environment, outcome may generate new demand or support and groups in support or against the policy, the feedback or a new policy on some related matter. So step 5 is feedback that lead to back to step 1, forming a never ending cycle. That's why we have an arrow here. So if the system function are described, then we have a stable political system. If the system breakdowns, then we have a dysfunctional political system. So that's all from me. I would like to pass to the next presenter.
So for the criticism, there are three critiques, which is the firstly, system theory is criticized for being overly complex and difficult to understand and apply. System theory is often criticized for being overly complex and difficult to understand and apply. It involves many interconnected parts and intricate details, which can be challenging for scholars and researchers to grasp. Additionally, the theory relies heavily on abstract concepts, making it hard to translate into concrete measurement and limiting its practical use in studying political system. As a result, it may be less accessible to those looking for straightforward insight. Second, the inability to fully explain the processes of social changes. System theory faces criticism for its inability to fully explain the processes of social change, while the theory emphasizes the operation and balance of political system. It lacks a comprehensive understanding of how societal transformation takes place. Important aspects such as social movement, cultural changes, and technological advancement are not sufficiently considered within the theory. Furthermore, system theory is also criticized for its limited recognition of diversity and heterogeneity in political systems. It tends to oversimplify political systems as unified entities, neglecting the variation power dynamics and cultural differences that exist both within and between different systems. And lastly, system theory does not truly explore and address the power dynamics and the distribution of power. Power dynamic and the distribution of power are crucial aspects of political systems. Yet, the system theory does not truly explore and address these issues. By neglecting powers as a central element, the theory fails to capture the complexities and the inequalities inherent in political processes. This limitation undermines the theory's ability to offer a complete understanding of how power operates within political system and how it shapes decision making and policy outcomes. That's all for me. Proceed to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you. And now we're moving on into the system theory and its relation with the political risk analysis. There are several ways in which system theory by David Easton and political risk analysis were related. First, system theory can help political risk analysts to identify the output, inputs, feedback, and adaptation mechanism of a political system. This can aid in understanding how changes in one part of system can affect other parts and how the system responds to external pressures. The second one is that system theory can help political risk analysts to identify the key stakeholders in a political system and understand their interests and motivations. This is important because political risk is often driven by the actions and decisions of key stakeholders such as government officials, business leaders, and civil society groups. Last but not least, application of system theory in political science is in political and economic risk analysis. This involves assessing the potential risks and uncertainties associated with political and economic development in a country or region and how these factors may impact business, investment and other stakeholders. For example, a change in government policy or a major election could lead to shift in economic condition, social dynamics, and international relation, which could in turn impact businesses within that country. That's all from me. Thank you. Next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Syed. Let's look at an illustration of how system theory can be applied in political and economic risk analysis. Okay, imagine you are a multinational corporation considering investing in a developing country with a history of political instability. You want to assess the potential risks and uncertainties associated with political and economic development in that country and how this factor may impact your businesses. This is where system theory come in. By using this framework, analysis can understand the complex web of actors and factors that make up a political system and how they interact with each other. For example, in a developing country, the ruling government, opposition parties, civil society group, and economic stakeholders all interact with each other and influence the political and economic landscape. By mapping out this factor and analyzing how they interact with each other, analysis can identify potential risks and opportunities associated with investing in that country. A change in government policy or a major election can lead to shift in economic conditions, social dynamic, and international relations, which it could in turn impact business operating within the country. By understanding this dynamic, a multinational corporation could develop strategies to mitigate risk and leverage opportunities, such as investing in industries that are less vulnerable to political and economic fluctuations or establishing partnership with local stakeholders to gain more insight into the local context. Overall, system theory provides a valuable framework for analyzing the complexities of political and economic system and can help stakeholders make more informed decisions in the face of uncertainty and risk. Okay, next presenter.
Okay, for the role, for the case study that we come up in this system theory is the role of a system theory in political science, the case of unemployment in Spain by Professor Francisco Peraluna from Complutense University of Madrid. The main point of this research is that the problem of unemployment in Spain cannot be analyzed in isolation as it is interconnected with other factors in a larger system that includes feedback loops and dynamic process. Therefore, an approach using system theory is suggested to address this issue. Next slide, please. To implement this approach, the author recommends several steps. The first step is to identify the key factors that contribute to unemployment and understand how they are connected. The key factors that contribute to unemployment in Spain are interconnected and cannot be analyzed in isolation from one another. Economic policies, labor market conditions, education and training system, social welfare programs, and cultural factors all play a role in shaping employment outcomes. By analyzing these factors as a part of a larger system, researchers can identify how they interact with each other and develop effective solutions that address root cause rather than just a symptoms. Next slide, please. Secondly, it is important to avoid oversimplification of the problem, fragmentation of analysis, lack of participation by affected groups, and lack of integration among experts from different ideological premise. This means when trying to solve the problem of unemployment, we need to be careful to make it too simple or ignore important parts of it. We also need to make sure that everyone who is affected by the problem is included in finding a solution. Uh, Lastly, we need to make sure that experts with different ideas and beliefs work together to come up with the best solution. Next presenter, please. And next slide.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Kamaruzaman, and I will explain how the case study in UK to adopt and in Spain to adopt an integrated system approach involving experts from different fields. To address the complex problem of unemployment in Spain, it is necessary to adopt an integrated team approach involving experts from different fields and ideological premises. This approach allows for a more comprehensive understanding of the problem and facilitates collaboration among experts with diverse perspective and knowledge. Using an integrative methodology such as general system theory can help team members identify feedback loops and other dynamics processes that shape employment outcome in Spain. Next slide. Okay. Fourth, an integrated quantitative plan should be developed and presented through mass media with positive results. The last step in the author's approach to addressing unemployment in Spain is to develop an integrated quantitative plan that addresses all aspects of the problem. This plan could be developed by an integrated team of experts from different fields who can work together to develop solutions that address root causes rather than just symptoms. The plan should be presented through mass media with positive results for the Spanish population and improved by the consensus among experts. This approach ensures that solutions are evidence-based and takes into accounts all relevant factors contributing to unemployment and have public support for their proposals. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senaki.
Okay, thank you, Senaki.
Thank you, Senaki.
You. Ya, itu.